Hello, everyone. Welcome to Just Between You and Me. I'm Michael.
And I'm Michelle, and today we're talking about triggers. I feel like there needs to be like a giant trigger warning flashing thing here, but we're not going to do that.
We'll
say it.
Yeah, okay. So, triggers, for me, are something that causes an emotional and even a physiological response in our body when we have an experience. That experience may be in connection with someone else, and it may be just internal to us, having our own thought process or even our own experience as we just go throughout our lives.
Yeah, it can also just be a situation that occurs, like something happens in the world and suddenly we're triggered.
Yeah, another way to say that.
Yeah, and it's those buttons that get pushed. For me, triggers are always associated with somebody pushing a button or something pushing a button on me.
Yeah.
So I have a reaction instead of a response.
Yeah, and that button is also often associated with a mindset that we think is working for us, but perhaps is not working for us. A mindset or an alignment internal that we're being asked to look at by our reality. Yeah,
I love the focus on the fact that triggers point us to things that we might need to heal or we may need to work through. Stutter.
Yeah. Ultimately, internal things. Triggers can be very unique and complex because they're very unique to the individual. And triggers often, as I experience them, I often experience triggers as wanting me to be frustrated or triggered or emotionally at an external thing. Something that I want to be outside of me and want to create it can be in the story as it being outside of me. But actually it's something internal. And if we can get past that initial, I want to lash out at something outside of me, triggers will often lead us inward to something, exactly as you said, needs some love.
Needs some love, yeah. Triggers are generally sourced from something that needs love inside of us. That we get to kind of like peel back the layers and look at and send self-love and unconditional self-love to.
Yeah, and that's a process to meet these different parts of ourselves where we're at, and it goes very deep into just emotional processing and processing the different parts of self, their different resonances.
Yeah, it's interesting that triggers lead to more internal reflection than almost anything else we've talked about. Lead into internal understanding of mindsets, lead to internal understanding of self in a even deeper way than I think anything else we've talked about so far. Yeah, and it really invites us to learn about ourselves more in each moment. Every time we have a trigger, even if it's the same one, there's always a continuing of the process of learning about self, which I would even say ultimately leads us back to self-love. And I know that's a big leap, but it is on the path, learning about self, figuring out what this part of ourself is mad about, how to love that part of ourselves where we're at and possibly shift that part of ourself. Ultimately, it's a journey of loving self where we're at and then loving who we become. And I think oftentimes triggers are directly connected with walls. We get triggered by something that pushes our button and then all of our walls come up.
Sure.
And so I feel like that's a direct connection as well to walls from our triggers.
And so what's the difference when one is triggered because their walls are coming up versus when one is triggered because their boundary is being crossed?
Oh, that's interesting. So triggers are just information, I would say. They're just pieces of information about how we're experiencing the world. And it's up to us to decide, is this actually a boundary or is this a wall? And as we define boundaries and walls in earlier videos, boundaries are things that are like, healthy conversations. Set and supportive. Whereas walls are things that they may have been healthy at one point and now they're stagnating us or they're creating blocks.
Yeah, stagnating and blocking our energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So that's a good kind of understanding of if there's a trigger, is it a wall? Is it a boundary? Right. What does that mean to you? It's a great place to start a deeper exploration.
Yes. So it's as if, to build on that, the trigger is an invitation to decide, is this where I get to set a boundary, or is this where I get to take down a wall and really learn about myself and do my inner work here?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you want to give an example? I know we talked about one, so I'll give you freedom to talk about it.
Yeah, so Michelle and I, in our journey of harmonizing our inner children into our holistic lifestyle, figuring out how to play together has been a journey.
Yeah.
And that journey has brought up triggers.
Lots of them. Lots of them.
So I get a little bit more rambunctious when I play. Michelle likes to play more like even keel, low key, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm a little more subtle. I'm the kid that wants to swing on the swing, not the kid that wants to run around and play tag.
Yeah, totally. So, and I'm like, very athletic and gotta move really quickly, and that we've butted heads quite literally a couple times. And so, and that's brought up a trigger where it's been like, I don't want to play anymore, or Michelle's been like, I don't want to play anymore because I don't want to play that way.
And I don't feel safe.
Feel good. Yeah, you don't feel safe because I'm moving so fast and I'm all like happy and everything. And then I've had the opposing trigger of, well, I don't want to play anymore because I feel like I can't play because everything I do is wrong, or everything leads to a reaction of something non-playful or unpleasant. So we've had to navigate those and like be in the playful space, and then realize that it's not that we can't play, but it's that where does our play overlap? We can both get excited and happy and fun, but what do we have to shift in order to show up
to play together?
Yeah, without hurting each other or shutting each other down.
Yeah.
Like, where can we actually meet? So that's been a journey of triggers. For me, I've been triggered and feeling like I have to shut down and can't play.
And for me, that like, it's not safe to play.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll get bonked in the nose by my nose.
Smashed in the lips, I think was the last one that happened. We were trying to play and Michael accidentally bashed my lips.
Yeah, we were.
With some, I think with your lips.
We were like this. We were like...
See, I'm even like I'm not completely okay turning my face to you when we do this.
Right, and I'm like very gently, like I would do that much like faster, like, but because I like want our meeting to be like perfect, to like be a little kiss and then jump back, but it was like too hard. It was like a clap, and so triggers came up around that, and we're still in the process. Like, you just had a reaction, and I just had a reaction.
Yeah.
So.
There you go, real time trigger.
Yep. Triggers are a journey too.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot of compassion for us and going through this process as well, because, we're learning to meet each other where we're at and ourselves where we're at. Like, I'm learning about me, how I play by playing with Michelle, and she's learning about herself, how she plays by playing with me.
Yeah. That's a great example. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So I think that pretty much wraps up the conversation around triggers that we intended to have today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe for future videos like this. And if you want to interact with us, we love talking to you guys. So please leave a comment in the comment section down below with any questions or thoughts. And if you want to contact us, you can contact us via our social media or email in the description section down below.
Yep, and also be on the lookout for our Patreon site coming out soon. We'll be doing a lot of deeper dives on these topics and how we navigate these topics in our connection, including in real-time processing videos.
Yeah.
See what that looks like.
That's exciting and vulnerable.
At the same time. All right. Thank you all very much for joining us today. My name is Michael.
And I'm Michelle, and we'll see you next time on Just Between You and Me.
Mwah.